Wow, the lines are full right now with people that went on strange field trips. I mean, I thought it was strange that, Roula, you went on a field trip where you saw cadavers.
Yes, like body parts.
But think about all the people that live here from other countries that did
Other
field
cities,
trips.
other-
Cities.
Around this country, around the world.
So many different things.
What's
you
the
could see.
strangest class trip you took? We're asking at 713-390-KRBE. We're going to start this off with Mandy on the line. I understand Mandy. Oh, it's line 4. That one always
you do it from
sticks.
that side?
There he goes.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, Mandy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning.
Hey, Mandy.
So I understand you. Did you go to school in Ohio your whole childhood, or just for the year you're talking about?
My dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. I was actually born in Texas, but I would say the bulk of my school age years, I grew up in Ohio.
Okay.
Where's the strangest class trip that you want to tell us about?
We went to an old 1800s schoolhouse and had a regular school day, but we had to do it in, those old desks.
Oh,
that
like,
sounds
like you
fun.
see in those old-timey movies where
Like a
everyone's
Little
wearing
House in the
petticoats.
Prairie
So
type
it was
thing.
like a
Just
your class,
exactly. And
or-
we dressed up. Yeah, it was our class. We dressed up. We carried our books with like a belt strap or whatever.
Oh, like that
Oh,
ribbon you
yeah.
see?
Yeah. Did you have to wear like a bonnet?
Like the
I
colonial
mean, yeah,
days,
my
right?
mom made me a dress.
Aw.
Wow.
that's cute.
And it was the full school day in there, Mandy?
Yeah, and then we went outside for like lunch, and there was a big water pump out there. We got water from the pump to drink with our lunch.
Oh, yeah. You had to pump the...
That's a good memory.
I don't know about that.
That's kind of cool. They
Yeah.
do that like at some schools. They do like Williamsburg Day or something where everyone has to dress up
Yeah.
and go
Wagon
back in
day
time
or
like that.
wagon-
Yeah, that's
And I
cool,
think
Mandy.
it was
What grade were
actually-
you?
I was like second grade. I was one of the most memorable field trips, but definitely unique.
Oh, how
And say
fun.
that schoolhouse. I mean, there must not have been very many of you because those schoolhouses were so tiny. Classes now are so big.
There's probably 30 kids, I bet, maybe in there he could fit.
Is that?
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
That's
those
pretty cool
discs.
memory. That's cool.
That's a
I
pretty
like
cool
that.
one. Not too strange. I was just like,
I'd rather
hey,
do
we-
that than could the Davers.
Yeah,
No,
no
they could have.
kidding.
At least we were 16. It's not like they took me there when I was third
That's
grade.
true.
We were pretty fascinated. We're going to Jacqueline on the line at 713-390-KRBE. Thanks for calling, Mandy. Jacqueline, you're up. Hi, welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show. It's very loud where you are.
Are you
Hey,
okay?
good morning.
Can you hear us in that wind tunnel?
Yeah.
Do you have your Bluetooth on?
No. Do I? No.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Your air conditioning is very strong today in the car. Jacqueline, tell us what is a not so common field trip that you went on.
So I grew up in Lake Jackson, and I guess the town's so small back in the day. I mean, I'm 43 now. It was like third grade, and they took us to the poo plant.
The poo plant?
The food plant?
Poo plant.
The poo plant.
Poo?
The
like,
sewage
like, like a
plant?
sewage plant?
Oh.
I don't know if it's the septic place where all the poo goes.
It's called a water treatment
Yeah,
facility.
I don't think they call
Wow.
it the poo plant.
So wait, did they teach you or like they showed you the process of cleaning water so we can like get it
Yeah.
through our system and drink it?
Yes, but I think they took us around the wrong part of the tour because all we saw was poop everywhere.
Poop everywhere. So I
I'm sure
assume
that
it was a
stunk.
rather smelly field
They
trip.
went,
That's
the
for
wrong,
sure. Very stunk.
they went the wrong way on the tour.
Oh, my God.
Not down there, Earl.
Don't go to the back end over there.
What are you taking them there for, Earl? It doesn't smell like sewage now.
Well, there's a sewage treatment plant right off the Beltway, and there are some mornings driving in, I'm like, oh,
It is
God,
kinda-
that's awful.
It's kind of interesting, though, to see.
It is.
I mean, it has to be done.
And in third grade,
could do
you
without.
are just paying attention to your elders and your teachers. You're like,
Right.
okay, well, we're going to go here and we're
Is it
going to
like
learn
when you go to a
this.
brewery at the end of the trip, you get
You get a
drink-
little-
you get beer, and at the end you drink a glass of water,
Tap water?
after that was just used.
I would not want to drink the water.
Well, I mean,
But that's what you
it's
are.
what it
when you
is.
drink
I
your water.
understand,
Oh my
but
gosh.
it's just like, would you want to like eat a cow right after you slaughtered it?
Let's hope they didn't eat lunch there.
yeah, I'd eat it if
No,
they.
God.
That
Come on,
would be
you're right.
terrible.
Why would you not wanna eat
Jacqueline,
it
thanks for
fresh?
calling. Thanks for calling. Yeah, but no, some people don't want to know how it got there.
Yeah,
They just want to know
that's
the
what I'm
steak is on the
saying.
plate. I don't need it to see how it got there.
I don't
know
need to
that that was
see how
healthy.
I got that clean glass of
now
water
it's
from
delicious.
a vat of poop.
Suha is up next. I hope I'm saying it right. Suha, welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show, SUHA. Am I saying that right?
Yes, you are, Roula.
Hi,
Good morning.
great.
Good morning. So what was the crazy field trip?
Strangest class trips.
Well, I was in elementary school. Again, I think may have been second or third grade, but they took us to a cemetery.
Ooh.
And
Was that
he
here in
taught us how
Houston
to
or
do
where?
relief. Yeah, here in Houston.
Okay.
I went
Okay.
to church school.
He taught
Here
you
in
how to do
Houston.
what?
they gave us pieces of paper and crayons, and we were doing relief off of the gravestones.
Oh, like you know,
Like
you,
an
you,
etching.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like you
yeah.
put the paper
That
on
paper
there,
on-
You
and
trace it.
You not trace it, but what is it? You
You rub
take
it
the
against
crayon and
the-
you rub
You
it,
rubbed it.
and
Yeah.
then you can see it on the paper, the person's name.
What was the
Okay.
purpose of that, though?
Yeah,
Just-
what was the purpose of going to the cemetery? Like, what do you remember the
I have
lesson
no
was?
clue. I'm first
Interesting.
generation American. It didn't make sense to my parents, and I had no clue what
But
was
it's,
going on.
sometimes
That's
it's kind of
interesting.
interesting when you see like a gravestone. Like, for instance, where my dad is buried, like about 5 graves down, there's graves from the 1850s.
Yeah, it's
it's really
fascinating.
kind of
By
fascinating.
people in like civil wars and stuff. that-
Yeah,
Definitely.
what they must have seen.
There's a
Pennsylvania.
cemetery off of I-10, like between the IKEA and the HEB Bunker
I
Hill.
know what you're talking about,
Woodlawn,
yeah.
I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I have people that I love that are buried there, and when I went to go visit one of the last times, my husband and I just kind of started walking around to see all the other ones, and they absolutely have an entire section of like 1,800 soldiers in there. It's pretty fascinating.
I just
find it
noticed that,
fascinating.
like, somebody was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you don't know that cemetery over there?" I'm like, "No." And then
Yeah.
I looked over one day, and
It's
there's
right
a whole
there,
cemetery.
right there on I-10.
And you guys are busting my chops because I went to a cemetery last weekend. And
But
But
she's
you
gonna
went
see loved
seeking
ones.
sellers. I went to go see loved ones,
Well-
and then I started seeing the smaller headstones. I go, wow, why are these
I
so
remember my
small?
father-in-law in Galveston. You take 61st Street down, and
Yeah,
there's all
yeah.
the cemeteries. He's like, why don't they build something there to block that view?
What?
oh my gosh!
I don't want to
You don't. I don't want to be bothered by
memorials.
the
I started
mausoleums.
laughing. I'm like, but that's history there.
Yeah.
but some of those are.
Okay, thank you for calling, Suha. Thank you for calling. We're going to go to this one because I went to go see the cadavers, but this school took it an extra step.
Oh,
According to Samara, I hope is your name, Samara? Oh, wait, hold on. It's line
You gotta
4
hit it.
again.
You gotta-
Line 4 is
Line
always
4
sticky.
sticks.
You want me to try
Yeah,
from this
you.
end?
Oh, there, I think got it.
Okay.
Samara, you there?
Samara.
Samara.
Yes.
Samara.
Yeah,
So
Samara,
tell
us
us
where you
about
went.
this.
So in 10th grade, I was in HOSA, which was for, if you wanted to go into the medical field. And for our field trip, we had done some small things. We had seen a knee surgery replacement, which was pretty gruesome. We saw a live birth. But they actually took us to the morgue, and we saw an autopsy be done live. And that pretty much sealed it, and I did not go into the health field after that.
Like when you say you saw an
Whoa.
autopsy,
Whoa. She saw an autopsy.
like they cut the cranium open, took the brain out, all that kind of stuff.
Yes, like they showed us where they drained the blood and where they make the incisions.
Where
and
were you at?
literally,
Are you
we
in,
were just, it was
Are
How
you,
many of
seeing it
y'all? How
right
many of
there
y'all?
live.
Are you
And
around
they-
them, or are you up in that like little viewing
yeah.
thing?
No,
Cat's
it was
nest,
like
yeah.
a divider. Like we saw
Crow's
them
nest.
through a mirror type two-way thing.
Oh, okay. So
And
you're behind.
they
So the person's
Yeah,
not
Because
they
I would
gave us the
imagine the
case.
smells would be pretty horrible.
Well, they took us. So after we saw that, they took us to the back where they kept the bodies
Oh.
that are waiting for autopsy.
Oh.
And I remember that smell to this
Yeah.
day, like
Oof.
20
Smell of death
something
is
years
the worst.
later.
Thank God there's people that do that job, though. You know?
Yes.
Exactly. So that was interesting, but not for me.
How many of y'all were in that group of the field trip, Samara?
So we had to get permission, and your parents had to sign off because this was pretty gruesome. It was about maybe only 15 people that went.
Still, 15 is pretty big amount.
That's how
of
they
people.
weed you out, though.
Yeah, they do. Because look at you.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not cut out for this.
Even as an adult, I don't think I'd want to see that right now.
Anybody listening, go to one of those like prisons, like it,
like one of which
like
prisons?
scared.
Oh, Beyond Scared Straight.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever watched...
They want you to talk to
'cause
inmates who are
my
going to be
buddy
there
went
for life.
in Joliet prison is was famous in Statesville. It's like the Blues Brothers. That's where they were.
Yeah,
in
Joliet.
in prison, but
Okay.
it's a really bad. My buddy was a prison guard there. And it's one of the worst.
Mm.
So and I never knew if they took kids to those prisons
To show
For
them
the
don't
Scared
be like
Straight
these
program.
kids.
or
Have you
just to
ever
take
seen...
them on the tour just to show them.
No, like an abandoned prison.
hold
That's
on.
kind of fascinating.
Real quick before Samara goes away, I have one more question for her before we go on the prison tangent. Samara, you hung up. I want to know
Dang,
if
What'd you wanna know?
anybody,
Just hung up, too.
if anybody in her 15 group
Got sick?
got sick, passed out. Because when I did my cadaver thing,
Someone faint?
there was a room with. Oh, I can't talk about it still.
Somebody
Oh,
fainted?
God. No, it was me. I had to leave the room and. Oh God! I had a head injury when I was a kid, so anything having to do with your head just totally gives me the. And so they had this. God, they had this brain. I could not.
You could see the brain.
Rula's like scratching her head right now.
It was like the actual brain. I just.
It was
can't.
sticking out of the skull.
No. But like they have it in the jar, and they're
Oh,
doing like
in
the
formaldehyde.
scientific
Okay.
research on it. And I'm just like, I can't. It's one thing to like see a picture of it, but to see
See
it
it? Yeah.
with its slices.
Eric, have you ever seen Inside the World's Deadliest Prisons on Netflix?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that
Yeah,
one.
that's really fascinating.
But I don't know if they do it for kids. People are calling for that maybe for prisons. I know some people text in 8th grade they went on a field trip to a prison.
And what did you find? 713-390-KRB. What is the lesson? How long did you spend there? Did you have lunch? They showed you how to make a shank?
Yeah, make a knife out of a
We've
toothbrush.
learned from our prisoners how to make prison wine from toilet water.
I get all those TikTok ones now. I'm getting all these like guys in prison they talk about with other former prisoners.
Well, our
stuff.
phones are listening to us right now, so now we're all going to get that.
It's interesting to see what
It makes you want to really walk the straight and narrow.
Well, I mean, that's
I
the
don't ever want to
purpose,
end
then
up there.
fine.
That's what I'm saying. I think you should
I don't have a
take
problem with that.
like 6th graders. When do you become like a little turd?
Punk? What do
Well, you
turn
need to
into
know
a
that there are
punk?
Like 6th grade,
consequences.
7th
This is
grade?
where your life could be headed. Because to
Beheaded,
talk
he
about
said.
no, but
All I
I mean
heard
to
was
talk about
beheaded.
it is one thing, but when you actually see it, there is a reason why they call it the Scared Straight program.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in that world where it's cool to be bad, or you get
Or if you're
cred by
exposed
doing
to it,
something
sometimes you're born
terrible.
into a world where you're surrounded by that.
You think that's normal?
Yeah,
We'll
that is your
smoke
norm.
cigarettes, do hood rat things.
Like that little
Do
boy that
hood
stole
rat
that
things.
car. Why did you steal this car?